Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Are you guys sleeping? The food is good, huh? I mean, most of you guys sleeping. I can't hear you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know, every time we have food for sure, there's a positive and there's a negative. We're happy, and the lecture can be enjoying, but the lecture can also be hard to focus because we're sleeping, right? So alhamdulillah, we have the food. Inshallah, it doesn't make you sleepy, okay? I'm going to talk about today the characteristics of the true servants of Ar-Rahman. Who is Ar-Rahman? We first ask. Ar-Rahman is mentioned many times in the Quran. Most famously in the first ayah of the Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most merciful, the most gracious. So who is Ar-Rahman? We're referring to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And in Surah Al-Furqan, the ending, the last, from ayah 61 to 77, Allah Azza wa Jalla talks about the characteristics of the true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These true servants, Allah Azza wa Jalla promises them super great reward. Or, He even promises them that He's gonna exchange their bad sins into good sins. Just imagine that. Imagine we have a mountain of bad deeds and He changes it to good deeds. What are the characteristics of these people? Because we want to be like these people, obviously, right? We want to be the true servants of Ar-Rahman. I'm going to read the passages from the Quran. I have 30 minutes, so I'll try my best here to cover it all, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وعباد الرحمن. I'm going to go one by one. وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا. And the slaves of Ar-Rahman are those who walk on this earth هونا, in humility, humbleness. وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. And when the Jahilun people mock them publicly, they say peace, peace. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. Salam. Okay, let's dissect this ayah. Allah Azza wa Jalla first says, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ. And the slaves, the true slaves of the merciful, are those who walk the earth in humility. What does that mean? When we talk about humility, the number one thing that comes to our mind is not being arrogant, which is true. And what is arrogance itself? Sometimes we imagine arrogance of walking up, shoulders up, chin up, walking like this and say, what's up? Like you're a higher state. That's one form of arrogance. But hauna means intimidating. I mean, the opposite of hauna, the opposite of humility is arrogance. And arrogance can be different ways. Arrogance can be intimidating. You're walking in an intimidating way. You know how the gangsters do it nowadays? They do like this. Yeah? They put the jeans down, shoulders slumped, t-shirt a little big, wearing the dad's jeans a little big, they walk like this. That's not hauna. Hauna means humility, but it means in a dignified way. The true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they walk like they have a purpose in life. We walk around looking lazy. Sometimes we walk around looking tired. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Umar ibn Khattab, one time a man was walking like this, and Umar ibn Khattab did, radiallahu anhu, he hit the man with a stick. He didn't hit him, but he pushed him with the stick. He's like, straight, walk up, you're a Muslim, look bright. Why? Because when we walk on this earth, people judge the way we look, the way we walk, the way we talk, and the way that Allah Azza wa Jalla wants His true servants to walk is how? Hauna, with humility and dignified. Because when you're dignified, you're walking straight. And when you're walking straight, you have the temptation to lift your chin up a bit, thinking you're better than other people. But Allah Azza wa Jalla reminds us, lower your chin. Walk dignified, but know whose earth you're walking on. We're walking on Allah Azza wa Jalla's earth. Walk in a dignified way. Next part He says, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. This is very, very beautiful. Allahu Akbar. And when the Jahilun people mock them publicly, they say peace. Who are Jahilun? In order to understand this, we need to know who are Jahilun. Right? Jahilun are those people, some people say in the Quran is translated as the ignorant. But Jahilun means much more than the ignorant. In Arabic, the word jahl, it means someone without knowledge. Someone who has no aql. Jahl and aql are opposites. What is aql? Aql means intelligence. Someone who's using his intelligence is called aqil. Someone who's not using his intelligence is called jahil. So someone who's not using his intelligence, who's just speaking, just speaking for the, for the fun of it, that's called jahil. So when the people mock them, when the khatabahum al-jahilun mock them publicly, where do we get the meaning publicly from? Khatab, the word khutbah comes from. Khutbah is something said publicly. Am I not right? When you hear for Jum'ah, khutbah, something said publicly, a public announcement. So when the jahilun, the people who are not even using their mind, mock them publicly, they say qalu salam. They say peace. It can even be a state of mind. Salama. Okay? They say they don't have to say peace immediately. Like, oh yeah, peace, peace. And some people, we're not supposed to take this ayah as saying, when someone's like getting you real angry, you say, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا السَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ. That means you're calling that person jahil, which is not the purpose of the ayah. The purpose of the ayah is you are not jahil because you're using your intelligence and you're calming down the situation. You're saying peace. I'm not trying to pick a fight with you. Khalas. You're right. Okay, just let's not fight. Because we all have this need to be right. We want to be right. We don't want to be wrong. Right? I have it. You guys, it's hard to admit, but we all have it. We want to be right. And when someone says you're wrong, it's kind of hard. It's hard to say you're right and I'm wrong. Those are the hardest things to say. So, but when someone says you're right and I'm wrong, just for keeping the peace, then that is when a true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. And it's not just that. We look in the world today. We look at the, I'm not going to say the people. If you go to a Donald Trump rally, or you go to any a lot of public places nowadays, you hear people bashing on the Muslims, saying this and that, this and that, this and that, and you have a lot of Muslims responding in the most un-Islamic way. They respond back with the same amount of hate, with the same amount of no knowledge, because when you're mad, do you really think when you speak? Anger is the most hardest thing to control, according to psychologists. And when you're mad, you tend to say things without even thinking. Because why? You're just so mad. So when Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ, when the people are yelling at you, when they're not using their mind, they're always going to be angry. So when people are angry at you and they're just making fun of you, you just have to take it in and say qalu salam. You're always at a state of peace. And when you're willing to make the peace, then that's when you're a true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This also can happen in the Muslim community. When people are arguing on the basis of Islam. For example, a brother says, oh, I follow the Shafi'i madhab. Right? I follow this kind of madhab. I do it this way. And some brother comes, no, brother, astaghfirullah, you're going to Jahannam. You're supposed to do it this way. And then another brother comes, no, I'm doing it this way. I'm the right one. And then from this they what? They get an argument. Have you noticed this before, right? Yes or no? You've noticed that even Muslims themselves fight each other. They argue with each other. And then a good Muslim, the true slave of Allah says, okay, khalas,